2 weeks after it was announced that Dubas would be the president of hockey operations for the Pittsburgh Penguins, another announcement dropped from the organization today. And it's a big one. When Brendan Shanahan drove to Ford Performance Center and let Kyle Dubas know that he would no longer be the GM of the Maple Leafs, Shanahan later would do a press conference. And prior to that press conference, it was rumored that Jason Spezza turned in his resignation and also left the Maple Leafs. It felt like the beginning of the end for Jason Spezza, who joined Dubas in the press box as a special assistant to the GM with the Maple Leafs. It looked like, although he was leaving the Maple Leafs, that he would still somehow find his way again beside Kyle Dubas, and now it's in Pittsburgh. Before we go any further in the video though, hello, my name's Nick Barden. If you're enjoying the video, make sure to subscribe and leave a like as well. Let's try and hit 100 likes for Jason Spezza joining the Pittsburgh Penguins. From the Pittsburgh Penguins have named Jason Spezza as assistant general manager. It was announced today by president of hockey operations Kyle Dubas. Spezza will report directly to Dubas and assist club management in all hockey operations departments. And in a quote from Dubas, it says, "After a decorated playing career, Jason fully immersed himself on the management side of the game, learning all facets of hockey operations this past season while with Toronto. He showed tremendous work ethic, curiosity, and ability to build relationships throughout all departments at the team facility. His move from the roster to the front office staff also helped make the hockey operations department, coaching staff, and playing roster a more cohesive and collaborative unit. We are thrilled to have Jason join the Pittsburgh Penguins today, as he will add a great perspective to our club, and we are excited to watch him reach his potential in management." Now, like I said again, this seemed like it was inevitable when Dubas left and then Jason Spezza followed suit. It seemed like just, where one domino falls, another one falls. And then shortly after, once it was announced that Dubas would be the president of the Pittsburgh Penguins, a lot of people thought, you know what, hey, Jason Spezza is probably going to be there soon anyways too. And this is a good thing, especially looking at Jason Spezza's title now. Instead of special assistant to the general manager, he's an assistant general manager, which means Dubas has a lot of faith in Spezza, as we just read in the press release. There's a lot of good things that Spezza has shown, and being a player and coming into an organization in a management role, it will really help, like Dubas said, in all aspects of the team, whether it's development, whether it's sending a message from the players up to the GM or the president of hockey operations in Dubas, or just a collaborative effort. Jason Spezza's there, and he's going to be learning more and more and more, probably hoping that one day he will be a general manager too, and maybe it's with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Maybe Dubas doesn't elect to sign a GM, although he did say he would look at that later on this summer. Maybe he elects to just go all in hockey operations, president, and just do everything himself. Have Jason Spezza there. It'll be interesting to see how they go about this. The Leafs have a few assistant GMs. Does Kyle Dubas come in to Pittsburgh and bring in a few more? Does he bring any more from the Maple Leafs? I know Brendan Prinham was a big fan of Dubas, and Dubas likewise with Prinham. There's a few other people in the Leafs organization. I don't really know how likely it is that anyone else really leaves the Leafs to go and join Pittsburgh. I know one of the names that was rumored I don't know who it came from, but Wes Clark, who is the big development guy with the Maple Leafs and the big prospect and, person who is the head of the draft for Toronto at this point, because Brad Treliving will not be a part of the draft. There was a little bit of, I think, rumors, again, I don't know who it's from, that said look out for Wes Clark because he could switch organizations, and that would be a big hit if it were for the Maple Leafs. But at this point, he's still with Toronto. It looks like he's going to run the draft, and I guess after that, it's really, we'll see what happens. But for Jason Spezza, it's a good move to have him join Pittsburgh. Again, it's going to get him a lot of experience. It's going to get him working with Kyle Dubas again, someone he knows really well. And this Pittsburgh team, although they are getting older and older, I think they're going to be a sneaky team next year when it's the regular season. You still got Sidney Crosby, you still have Evgeny Malkin, you still have Chris Letang, and all those three, again, are getting up there in age. but their play is still really good. So there might be a little bit of tinkering with that roster, maybe a lot of tinkering in some areas, but this team, headed by Kyle Dubas and now co-headed by Jason Spezza, it's going to be interesting to see how good they do next season. One more thing I did want to add was about a rivalry. It's interesting when you think about GMs versus GMs. I know it would be Kyle Dubas versus Brendan Shanahan when Pittsburgh comes to Toronto and Toronto goes to Pittsburgh. And, a lot of people thought, nah, it's not really a rivalry. I would beg to differ. I mean, it is a rivalry at this point. You look at the two teams. They're both headed by people. Brad Treliving really wouldn't count as the head because it's Brendan Shanahan, and it's versus Kyle Dubas. I think there's a rivalry there. Kyle Dubas is going to want to come into Pittsburgh. He's going to want to prove a lot of people wrong, especially people high up in the Maple Leafs. And it's going to be interesting to see what Dubas does. I think he's going to go all in. Fenway Sports Group is a big company, and I think they got a lot of money. So I think they're willing to do anything they can to win a Stanley Cup. And with Dubas at the top there, they're going to do whatever it takes. And it's going to be interesting to see. And again, there's a rivalry now brewing with Toronto and Pittsburgh. And to say there isn't, I would disagree. Now, though, that is going to be it for this video. I did say in the last one that I did want to maybe make a little bit more NHL newsy stuff rather than just focus on the Leafs. So this is my sort of dipping my toe into it. If you did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like. If you really enjoyed it, subscribe. And let me know in the comment section down below. Do you want to see more NHL content from other teams and more NHL news and my opinions on it? Let me know in the comment section down below. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one, where I could talk about Luke Schenn and whether or not he will return to the Maple Leafs.